For those with good taste.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's your boys from For Those with Good Taste. I'm Matt. He's Lenny.
Que loca.
And we came back to you in Good Taste Studios to deliver another, would you say, hot, riveting, extravagant episode of Good Taste Weekly?
Yes.
I think it's safe to say, Len.
It's the perfect way to put it.
I mean,
you phrased it well.
Honestly, man, I don't know if it's the fact that we're not burning up in here.
It is oddly temperate all of a sudden.
Oh, man. It feels so cool to be in here.
I like
you see what I did there?
That, dude. That was really cool.
All right, man. Let's not segue into any craziness. How was your weekend, buddy?
It's good, dude. I have bad news for you though.
What's up?
Just before we took air here, I read a headline, Matt.
Oh, damn it! There you go again, reading headlines.
God, man, I'm so sorry to have to tell you this.
Nobody told you to do it, dude.
So you want me to stop?
No, man. Give the people what they want.
Cat's out of the bag. let the toothpaste out of the toothpaste holder.
Yeah, there's no way you're getting that back in there.
No, it's impossible. It's like that kid who eats a stick of glue.
You know a kid who ate a stick of glue?
I did, actually. Paid him $10 in high school.
Dude, what were you doing with your money back then?
It was a pot thing. More than one person threw in. But.
That kid must have made out like a bandit, dude.
Yeah, I also knew a kid who ate cigarette butts.
I don't know, man. We need to talk about the people in your neighborhood, bro.
It's a weird place.
You're taking it to a weird place.
Yeah, but so I'm sorry to break this to you. Your favorite R&B artist is again being investigated for domestic abuse.
What did a little Bow Wow do now? Sorry, second favorite artist. Who are you talking about?
I was talking about Lloyd.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I'm not talking about Lloyd. I'm talking about Chris Brown, of course, dude.
Oh, man, he's at it again?
Yeah, he's at it again, dude.
What did he do this time?
I don't know. I didn't read the article. I just read the headline.
It
said, the headline said, I quote, Chris Brown reacts to being investigated again for domestic abuse. I didn't even read what his reaction was.
I feel like, you know how a groundhog comes out every year to see its shadow?
Yeah.
I feel like every 5 years, Chris Brown hits a woman that lives in his house.
My favorite thing is I don't need to even think, I don't need to read it. We're like TMZ, dude. We don't need to read the article to report on the news.
No, we certainly don't. I mean, I think we can give an opinion and have it be valid just based on the fact that he does this all the time.
As that person on the news once said, hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your daughters.
Because Chris Brown beating everybody out here.
Yeah.
That's spot on, dude.
Yeah.
Don't give that guy any fame, though. He lasted way longer than he should have.
Oh, that part's awesome. It's just like the sitting on a toilet lady. Remember her?
Oh, my God.
Sitting on a toilet.
I'm going to be honest. Maybe I need to change my circle of friends, but I'm pretty sure that's still valid in my area.
No, I could still get a laugh.
Oh, 100%.
Dude, actually, I'm going to make it a goal in the next month to get a laugh from that joke.
Don't do it on here because I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah.
I don't want you...
Get a good giggle.
I don't want you getting it... I genuinely just don't want you getting into any mischief.
Boy, this is a start, huh?
Well, I tried my smooth transition, and I think it's only right that we get away from the craziness that we're talking about, and maybe we jump into the craziness of, I don't know, the world of Loki?
Disney Plus.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking.
It's safe to say that although we're not on schedule to keep up with these episodes...
No, there's a new one out tomorrow, in fact.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Fuck.
But the good thing is it gives us plenty of time to watch it, stew on it, and come away with some shenanigans and theories.
It's really weird. I told you before I got on here, I watched it twice, Matt, right? I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
But I really like it. So I'm like, does that make sense?
It makes sense in the sense that this show doesn't really feel, I mean, maybe it's because we're with the TVA, but it doesn't really feel like time's passing. I watched these episodes,
that's what it was.
And it's like, okay, we got a little bit of action. We got some comedy. The stare down scene and the sit down scene when they're having dinner together with the background of everything that's going on at this TVA, it was kind of cool to see them have that little exchange. But before I knew it, it was already over.
Listen, both episodes I came away with similar feelings.
Yeah.
About Loki and about what's his name? It starts with an M.
Mobius.
Mobius.
I came prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, so I enjoy them a lot. Obviously, the actors themselves, I've always enjoyed everything they've done. So that's definitely the part that's going to keep you engaged here, I think.
Yeah.
It is the enjoyment of the characters, and it's interesting to see where this is going. I mean, these Marvel shows have done a good job of not right away in any of the series giving away who the immediate threat was. I guess, Cap and Winter Soldier. Fuck.
You did it
Falcon
again.
and Winter
Damn it,
Soldier. I guess you kind of knew from the beginning the Flag Smashers were there.
We also had an inkling that Captain America who wasn't who we thought he was either, right? Like there was always that indication that he was probably going to go south pretty soon.
But this is only I found myself looking up while I was watching this. This is only 6 episodes.
Yeah, I got that news broken to me, and I'll tell you what, I was not surprised, just because of the overall pattern of the show. Is it seems like we're going to get some wordplay between Loki and Morbius, and then we're going to get some type of riddle that they have to try and figure out. And in this case, we're going to try and stay away from the spoilers, but they were able to kind of nail down where their villain was hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I said from the beginning. It's like the Hannibal Lecter thing where, Loki just gets in the mind of Loki and figures out where they're going. So that was pretty cool. We got an introduction of a new character, kind of a big reveal in this episode.
Huge.
I was into it. It was cool. That whole scene was pretty good. I liked that.
From
it's hard to avoid spoiling, but
from the initial exchange, I guess we could just say that, because you're still not really sure who Loki's talking to. And then, again, big reveal, huge reveal. But I think the way that it ends is really what sets this episode off. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to give anyone who's watching it really something to look forward to.
Yeah, 4 more episodes of this. It is hard to, I don't want to say it's hard to get invested, because I think we're all really, really invested. But it's hard to, be like, damn, I love this show when you're only going to get 6 episodes of it, because it's one of those things where this show seems more built more than any of the others, because there was a cap on how many time periods you could do with WandaVision.
Sure.
I think Falcon Winter Soldier is built maybe more. You caught me.
You almost did it.
That was built a little bit more for miniseries, being able to do those 8 to 10 episode runs and be really effective. But
quick spin-off.
This show, because it time is infinite. You can go anywhere, and I think with the characters involved, I don't want to not see Owen Wilson return. It would suck to only see this character for 6 episodes, and we don't even know if he'll make it out of the series, right? But,
I mean, we've gotten some interesting reveals as far as what Morbius thinks the end game is for them, right? So it really does get to the point that when you're, throwing around theories and thinking about where the show can go in the next 4 episodes, you kind of have to look in hindsight what's coming out afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. So there's all this talk of a multiverse, what could possibly be happening with tying in Doctor Strange and WandaVision. It'd be interesting to see how Loki's meeting with these timekeepers could possibly shape what is the next phase of the next Marvel movies and series.
Well, and you have to look at so we basically start. Fuck, I don't want to
It's tough to get into the meat and potatoes without spoiling it.
Yeah. So this episode.
You want to do a 3, 2, 1 real quick?
Yeah, because I think this is a pretty important part to get to, right?
So if you haven't watched, we're gonna jump into some stuff. 3, 2, 1. Spoiler.
In all honesty, you've had 6 days, so I feel like I can spoil whatever. But we're just being polite.
You should be on episode 3 by now.
Exactly. Literally, you're already in episode ahead. You're basically creating the multiverse at the end of this episode, right? The millions of timelines that he goes ahead and
one
creates.
of the dopest scenes without actually revealing what's happened. Mm-hmm. You just to see the lines just start branching out.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, the shit's hit the fan.
So the ripple effect, to where, do you think, Matt, do you think they're going to have this wrapped up in the next 4 episodes, or is this something that we're going to see spiral off into a Doctor Strange 2, into a Spider-Verse, Infinite
into the multiverse? Yeah, I gotcha. It's definitely. I think I don't want to use the word concern, but my thought behind this is that Marvel has shown that they can kind of get themselves out of these corners, and they've kind of done it with this show already by showcasing that all Loki really has to do is walk through a door, and they are seeming to lose track of him due to the fact that the timeline has been completely blown to shit.
Yeah.
So now he can really go wherever he wants.
What do you think his next move is? Do you think he is the good guy Loki now, and he's on the move trying to find the other Loki, or are we?
I dare to.
Or do you think he's on the run?
Lenny, I dare to say that we might have gotten hoodwinked on who the actual villain might be, because I think there's no doubt that he's going to connect with Lady Loki, and they're going to figure this out and figure out how they can change, because the end game is that the timekeepers have the overall say of how everything is going to work. These two aren't about that, dude. So I think there's going to be a flip of the switch, if you will, and we come to find out that they're maybe the one hope for humanity to maybe not be under the Timekeeper's thumb anymore.
So you think the Timekeepers are inevitably going to be the bad guys?
I don't trust any lizards, dude.
I especially don't trust lizards who know how to tell time.
Not once, not never, dude.
Nope. I've never met a lizard who could tell time, but I tell you, if I did,
bro,
that's one I wouldn't trust.
You could look at an alligator and you wouldn't be able to tell how old that thing is.
I don't even think you make watches big enough for an alligator's wrist.
That's, I mean, hashtag
Also,
wrist mafia.
It's kind of like a conflict of interest, because I'm sure there's a lot of like alligator skin
watch bands
out there, and that would really be a tough thing to see, like another alligator.
I don't know,
wearing
man.
his
There is a reason why these things have lived among us for millions of years. I don't trust
They're
them.
basically fucking dinosaurs, right?
They are 100%.
Yeah,
If you've ever seen a giant crocodile 20 feet, it's coming right for us. They're pretty huge.
What are you more afraid of swimming with? Crocodiles or sharks?
Crocodiles.
Yeah?
Yeah, because sharks, I feel like if you can control your breathing, I think you're good. Because there's been plenty of footage of like divers swimming with great white sharks and shit like that. If you're in a situation where you can control your breathing and you know how to swim, I think you'll be okay.
So would like an alligator or a crocodile? I never know the difference.
You don't know the difference between
like saltwater and freshwater.
Okay,
right?
crocodiles are V-shaped face. Alligators are U-shaped faced.
Okay.
It's the easiest
Is that
way I
like a
can tell.
Florida thing for you?
That's how you're able to identify them. Yeah.
But those,
Tired of you outing me, dude. Jesus.
They enjoy like the pain a little bit more, right?
They're sick. Like they're dinosaurs, dude. They legitimately will take a
They're just
baby.
curious.
They'll kill a baby in Disneyland, dude.
Yeah, well, the baby had it coming to them.
Don't swim in the water, dude. But
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, they're cold-blooded, bro. They'll kill you anywhere.
They are literally cold-blooded.
See
That's
what I did there?
Yeah.
I'm killing the transitions, but I think the best way to transition out of that Loki conversation is can't trust lizards.
Yeah,
And certainly looking forward to episode 3,
I'm with you.
which will be out by the time they listen to this.
We're gonna transition to more Disney Plus. I want to because I don't want to forget about this
That's
before
okay.
we get into the Bad Batch, right?
Okay.
So we did just watch another trailer for Disney Plus.
We did.
For Monsters at Work.
Yes.
Was that right?
Yeah, dude, you nailed it, dude.
A spin-off to the Monsters Inc.
Yep.
Boys there.
Yeah,
Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski and Sully.
Yes.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts on the trailer, Matt? Because I did have a thought on it.
My initial thought was, I hope this isn't a movie, and I was really glad to find out that it was a series.
I would have been okay either way. I think, I don't know if I'm going to watch it if it's not heavily involving Mike and Sully.
So you're probably just as concerned with what I thought. It seems like they're just going to make little bit appearances.
Because as I realized it was a TV show, Matt, I was like, well, they're not going to want to pay like John Goodman and Billy Crystal to...
I think Billy Crystal should do it pro bono.
Yeah?
Like, dude, you've been out the game a bit,
That's fair.
you know?
I mean, and if you're going to come back, you basically probably did this from your home.
Give the people what they want, dude.
I wonder how long this has been in the works, because this seems like one of those things that would be perfect for the pandemic, where they could just send microphone recording kits out to everybody.
I could imagine they were sitting back and they were thinking, how are we going to make more money on TV series this year?
Yeah.
Oh, I got one.
So that was kind of my thought coming out of it, and the topic I wanted to bring up with that series being a thing. And if you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. It's not bad. And if you like Monsters Inc., Monsters University, you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, you'll get to see some of your favorite characters.
Do you?
Like the Slug Lady.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I don't even know what she says now.
Yeah, I know. What you won't see off camera is that...
I'll try it.
I can't even remember.
What'd she say?
It's like, don't forget your paperwork.
Don't forget your paperwork.
Eventually, you'll come back to it, dude.
Yeah.
You're better than that. But yeah, certainly something you should check out. And if
So-
you love the original movies, should be something to look forward to. Maybe not something to get super excited about.
My question was this. You know, we talk a lot about streaming service value
We talk a lot, dude.
on here, right? It's one of our favorite topics of conversation. And I had this conversation yesterday, and this was before I knew the Monsters Inc. thing. But, you know, what really gets you to come back to Disney Plus?
I think it's because they're constantly putting out new content.
But it's really only one-off things, right? It's like you come back once a week for an hour-long episode of a show. Well, for you have two things that you're watching right now.
So 2 things I'm watching, but one of the other things is, and I was going to save this for our What to Watch segment, but I can kind of flesh it out now. They come out with new movies too. So they just came out with a new animated movie, Luca.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, it's about a little kid living in the Italian suburbs, old Italia, And
Did you watch it?
I haven't had a
already?
chance to watch it.
Okay.
It's something that's going to be on my list. Even before I had kids, I loved all the Disney animated movies. So the idea of being able to watch it with my kid, it's pretty cool.
So, for me at least, I really only watch Disney Plus at this point for Loki and for WandaVision and for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't watch the Star Wars stuff, and I haven't felt nostalgic recently to go back and rewatch it. Obviously, we have some stuff like on the agenda that we need to watch on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to be doing some content on, but
as a consumer, you're not really getting much content from it.
I kind of look and I'm like, it's crazy. And I referenced this last week. We shitted on Netflix a ton.
We're still shitting on that.
And I still will shit on them whenever I feel like it. But I do think as a whole, they have to be, they're overpriced at this point. So it's tough. Like that's where the value comes into play there, is that they're expensive. But I do think as far as shows that you can just lose a week or two on, lose like long periods of time on, Netflix owns that genre of binging, right? Because I think pound for pound, we've talked about Paramount having some of the best content possible.
Yeah.
Whether it is The Challenge, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, go down the list. Like you've loaded up all these really, really good.
Now they've got original movies coming out now too.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's pretty awesome.
Like they're definitely up there, right? But Netflix is just the OG. And I think because it's so established that whenever I think about shows that I've lost like long periods of time, the 100.
Yeah.
Did I just rewatched something? Didn't I?
I mean, we were talking about Outer Banks.
Yeah.
You recommended I watch Outer Banks.
Yeah. So like there's that. There's I'm fucking watching Dawson's Creek. Laugh at me if you will.
We'll give them a minute. Feel free to jump in the comments. Let us know how you feel.
I'm watching fucking Dawson's Creek.
You got to see how excited he is to talk about it every day, too. It's pretty sweet.
I really, yesterday was the first day I had something exciting to say about it. Don't lie. Don't
best moments
me.
are like when you come up to me and you're like, honestly, man, Dawson's Creek's whatever. But really when it gets into the, there was this huge fight and I'm just like, oh, here we go, man. You're fucking infatuated right now.
Every once in a while they hit it, right? But so I do think, like, is Disney all it's cracked up to be is my question. Is Disney Plus, is it the best streaming service? Is it overrated as a streaming service? Like, I want to know where people kind of fall on that.
Can I tell you what the missing piece to the puzzle for Disney Plus is?
Yeah.
You got to get rid of Premier Access right now. I think the movies that you're releasing for Premier Access are movies that people want to watch, but they're not going to fork over the $30. I say that having just done it for Cruella, but I almost even regret paying the $30 because at this point I wish I had watched it in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Right? There's little things like that where I think if they get rid of Premier Access and you just recently did a price increase, you're bundling Hulu, you're bundling ESPN, that Premier Access is the one gate that's really kind of shutting everybody out right now.
I don't have too much of an issue with the Premier Access thing because you do have the option of the movies if you want it to, and they're really offering you that of a convenience. But I don't know if it's financially makes more sense for them to charge $30. $30 is steep, right? Like I think 20 is probably more fair.
I just think you've got some time under your belt to be able to. I mean, this platform is less than a little over a year old. If I'm not mistaken.
Do me a favor, and I know you're just
terrible at the internet. That's okay. I'm here.
Can you try to look up how much Cruella made and straight to like the direct Cruella profit from direct? I'd be interested to know like what, because that was the big thing with Mulan, right? Was that it wasn't very successful.
Right.
Upon
that was their first one.
Yeah, like that was their first foray into this, and it wasn't very successful. I don't know that like Raya and the Last Dragon did that great on there as a direct to consumer. Was that a direct to?
So Cruella viewership lower than Mulan on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, then but so can you now look? Okay, so it earned $42 million at the box office.
It's a global box office, yeah.
Quickly, can you just do math on six? Well, I can do it.
What was it?
686. So it was 686,000.
4.26 million. Oh, that was just over the opening weekend.
30. So it made another 20 million. I don't know what the budget is on that, but I have to imagine that flexibility of making, even if it does under what they expect it to, because they're releasing it to their platform. It's not like when people go through Vudu for direct to DVD release or direct to stream release. The reason Disney's doing it that way is they're reaping 100% of the profits on that, right? Yep. So I would assume making 60 million instead of 40, it doesn't matter. Like it's not costing them anything because it's on their own platform. So I kind of understand.
So production budget was looking at 200 million. Jeez,
that's a lot.
That's steep. So you got to think. I mean,
really only do 42 million? Jesus Christ. Look up, see if it comes. There's an updated box office. I want to know, is that, dude? If they're already talking about making a sequel, and that movies are like, usually you would know in the first week if a movie's going to be profitable or not. And I haven't read the articles. I used to read a lot more on this. I got to get back into this just because of the fact that we're opening up again.
Right? Yeah.
Box Office Mojo probably will tell you further down.
Well,
I'm sorry if this isn't riveting once we just stare at a computer screen.
we'll figure it out.
That's just the opening.
So worldwide, $159.6 million
so far. Okay,
that's not that bad.
But the thing is, if the budget was the question is, was the budget 200 million to make it? Because if the budget's 200 million to make it, easy way to kind of think about how much money it needs to make is cut that in half for what promotion costs.
Yeah.
So it's like another 50 to 100 million that they probably put into promo.
Okay.
So there is still a long way to go.
They're about just south of 100 million out
to recoup their money. So it is kind of nuts to say, like, if you're gonna make another one of these, but I don't know if you blame this. Like, is the next one gonna be better? Is it gonna make more money?
Is the availability? Maybe you don't even go Premiere Access and direct to stream next time. Maybe you just put it out as a movie. Like, that's the thing. Once you've wet people's beak on this, it's going to be extremely difficult to go back, right?
Well, I cannot begin to understand where 200 million went to in that movie.
Her outfits probably.
Yeah, no, like I guess there's a lot of special effects on that.
It was quite riveting, and then you got to think of the time period. Money back then was way less expensive, and inflation, bro.
Yeah, no, you got.
Yeah, that's right. The best way that I'm going to be able to explain that. But
yeah, I like I said from the beginning, I would be interested to know how people feel about, like, you know, we do talk about ranking streaming services, and I think I was thinking about we should do like kind of our own. We were talking about doing a top 5, but I would honestly rather. Have you ever seen when people do like the tier ranking lists?
Oh yeah,
I would almost rather do something like that for
S tier, A tier,
yeah,
B tier.
like do something like that for the streaming services. Because it is an interesting conversation. I just wonder if people feel like they're getting their money's worth out of Disney Plus, especially where the price has increased. Outside of these one-off series that are fantastic in terms of quality, so that's probably where you'll feel like you're getting your money's worth. Is that even though Netflix has the volume out there, maybe their show quality isn't always up to snuff.
Yeah, and not only that, it's really far and in between as far as what you're getting for good content, right? I think they go through waves where there's seasons where they'll release 3 to 4 of their hottest shows, but then they're in the doldrums for the next 6 months.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's a great example of it. Kim's Convenience just released season 5. It's riveting. I've been watching it. It's pretty awesome.
Stop saying riveting. Jesus
Sorry.
Christ.
You said riveting last time.
Yeah, and then you stole it.
I used it again. So what? But, I mean, we went into this weird rabbit hole when we initially wanted to talk about The Bad Batch.
You wanted to talk about The Bad Batch.
Well, I just wanted to...
I want to talk about wrestling.
No, we're not... Dude, I will shut this whole thing down right now. Don't you start. And if anybody in the comments even remotely promotes this shit, I'm shutting down the lights, dude.
People keep asking me, hey, man, why aren't you giving more of your hot wrestling takes on here?
Yeah,
man?
We have a time and a place for it. It's not here and it's not
all right,
now.
Dude,
okay?
Give us a Bad Batch,
the people,
takes, dude.
When you talk about giving the people what they want, the Bad Batch did that in just about every way last week, Len.
Dude, I'm glad to hear you changed your tune on a show that you hated.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a flip-flopper. And I wouldn't say I hated it, dude. I would just say I was really kind of falling into a place of despair with it. But they pulled me out of it, man. We got another reintroduction of a character. I won't jump into any spoilers. I will simply say a name. One Cad Bane was reintroduced. I won't tell you how, and I won't tell you where.
Did you say, what was it again?
Cad Bane.
Cad Bane. Okay.
AKA one of the baddest mercenaries from the Clone Wars. So if you're familiar with the show, you know that shit's going down. And Crosshair has made an appearance, and we're going to war, Len. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Is it a spoiler if you tell me who they're going to war with?
Well, I think I've hinted in weeks past that...
Cad Bane.
No, Crosshair, who was a member of the Bad Batch.
Yeah, and you told me he's going to come back in the worst way.
He has, my man. Those inhibitor chips.
You know what, man? I don't know who this guy is. I'm not into him, though.
Sounds like a punk, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just like, I don't like the attitude he's kind of brought because, like, you don't flip on your fam, dude.
Dude, he's a smug son of a bitch. Just imagine, like...
In honor of Fast 9, dude, it's like, La Familia means a lot, bro.
Dude, some would say it's blood is thicker than water, dude.
Do you think, knowing what you do about, what's his name, Switchblade?
Crosshair? Yeah, okay. Not even close, but it was a dope name, though.
So, do you think, like, Crosshair could settle this beef with a Corona with his pals?
No, man. He brought his pals, and he brought them in a...
No cervezas, though.
No, dude. He brought the heat and the smoke. And our little group of the Bad Batch are in a pretty bad spot right now, Len. But I won't give away too much, but I will say that this the show has certainly taken a turn for the best. And going into this next episode, some shit's going down.
Are they like episode 10? Like, where are we at?
We just got to episode 10. Yep.
Okay.
So we got 6 more. And there's a lot going down, man. I feel like I keep saying that, but when you introduce one of the baddest guys in the cosmos back into the show, you know things are gonna go south.
What if you had a person who wanted to get into Star Wars, right? But they didn't want to go through the movies and like all that. They just want to watch a TV series.
Yeah.
And they had to watch one of them. At this point where you're at, what would you choose? Push them towards like The Mandalorian, or push them towards the animated stuff?
You'd have to push them to the animated stuff because that's where all the origins are. Like, you wouldn't really know much about The Mandalorian if you don't know what went down in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
There's a lot of missing pieces to the puzzle there. But what I would say is if you were to watch the Clone Wars, it's just like anything else. Like, how many times have you told me if you're jumping into a new show, skip those first 6 episodes?
That's what I did with Dawson's Creek, yeah.
Yeah, and granted, it's probably one of the best decisions that you've made.
Well, it'll get you through a lot of shows that you don't want to like.
And like anything else, the Clone Wars is a slow burn, but they change writers in the later seasons, and it gets significantly better.
Does it refresh the pacing of the show when they do that?
Yeah, it refreshes the pacing, and the animation gets a lot better. So you start seeing characters just look better. The fight scenes are just, how would I say? It's a lot more captivating, and it gets you genuinely interested in the story because they start introducing characters left and right. Start there, and then maybe you go on to The Mandalorian to get a little bit more backstory.
And you work your way up.
Yeah, I would even say avoid the movies if you can, and just stick to all the shows.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to get some feedback on there if anybody thinks I'm crazy. But I think if you're jumping into the movies, I think the movies are so different from, like, each trilogy is extremely different from the other ones, even though that they're trying to follow a certain pattern. Like, you can see the patterns, but I just think they're different as you go from each one.
How much more do the original movies make more sense having watched the TV series, or
Yes and no, because if you watch the Clone Wars, you get the backstory on Anakin Skywalker, and you figure out ultimately how he became Darth Vader. So even if you watch the old movies after the Clone Wars, you can still piece it all together.
Cool. Interesting.
Yeah, Lenny, I think it's safe to say that I'm back on board for the Bad Batch, and let's get it this week, man. I'm definitely ready to watch it.
Me too.
But you know who else is back on board?
If I had to take a guess, who else would be back on board?
Who's coming back, Len?
Who's coming back? Hopefully Chris Paul.
Coming back where?
Well, to the Suns, because
well, I mean, they're playing in the Western Conference Finals
with the vid, bro.
Oh, that sucks, dude.
I hope he's coming back.
People still out here catching COVID, bro.
He got the shot too.
Oh man.
You know what I think happened?
Conspiracy theory.
I think I didn't see anything magnetizing to him, so I assume he didn't really get the shot. He didn't get the right shot.
By magnetizing, you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
You didn't see that clip?
No.
So there was this politician. I forget where she's from. She went to like a town hall type thing or whatever, like one of their meetings that they go to, and she's like talking about the conspiracy theories like of COVID, like, and she's like, I just read an article before I came in here that talks about how metal will stick to me, and she's like, why is this sticking to me? And she like puts something, it was like she put something on her skin, and it like sticks for a second because it's kind of hot, so it's like sticky, but then it falls off immediately, and then she starts putting other stuff on her, and it all just keeps falling off, and she just is acting like it's staying. Like,
it scares the hell out of me, Lenny, because those are the people that are making all the decisions for us.
Yeah,
like
she runs a town probably.
Even if it's not her, like there's different variations of that woman in each of our states that are just like making all the. No, man, we don't need good roads. Put that money in my car. It's like, what are you guys doing?
So you asked who's back, Matt?
I asked you who's back, buddy.
I say COVID's back, baby.
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on there because the Spanish national team, I told you last week, they almost had to miss a game because someone caught the vid. But no, man, COVID is back, but they're not the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah. Who are you talking?
I'm not talking about Chris Paul. I'm not talking about COVID. I'm talking about the Suicide Squad, man. They just dropped another trailer.
Harley Quinn's back.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about last week?
What?
Harley Quinn getting that.
Munching
box?
box?
Catwoman getting her box.
We didn't talk about that?
No, we didn't talk about it.
I feel did we talk about it off air?
We kind of talked about it a little off air, and we were like, yeah, we're going to bring it up. And then I don't think we ever talked about it on the episode.
Yeah, I'd love to jump into this because we had a decent segment for this, so I'm kind of upset that we didn't kick it off.
Cardinal sin.
So DC, in all of the terrible decisions that they've made over the last couple months, years, decades, who knows, decided that superheroes don't go down on people. And
like superheroes. So you can be like a anti-hero,
and you can go down on people.
Snatched, bro.
Yeah, we're talking about Batman not being able to go down on one Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, who's a villain or an anti-villain at this point, right? 'Cause she's banging the good guy.
I mean, I've seen it go both ways.
You've seen her go both ways.
I think so.
You need to be careful, dude. You're skating on thin ice.
Yeah.
But
I feel like Batman would go both ways too. Like he's like
well, rich people do that.
Rich people definitely do that, man. Caesar.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that your first idea is we're going all the way back to Romans. Like Caesar fucked guys, dude, and he was rich, so go figure.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was weird that this is a conversation that we have in 2021 where they're like, yeah, you need to cut out the scene where Batman is going down on Catwoman because we're trying to sell toys.
But I kind of get that. Like, first of all, I want to be clear in my stance. If anybody wants to eat box, they should be able to.
Well,
I'm not going to tell you that you can't go out and eat a box if you need to.
I would actually encourage it.
Okay,
but
we're on the same page. But I do get where it would maybe hurt toy sales.
Sure, it would certainly hurt toy sales. But then you also got to look at the fact that yes, you're making memorabilia and merchandise, but you also don't have to let kids watch that movie or watch that show, right? So I think you need to be realistic because Batman's a billionaire. He's going down on everybody.
I think that's safe to say. The confusing thing is like Bruce Wayne. Bruce Willis. We're getting to him. Bruce Wayne. He and Bruce Willis, for that matter, actually would probably just eat a bunch of box, dude. Like, and I honestly don't think Bruce Willis would be that picky about it. Bruce Wayne maybe has a little bit more standards.
You're saying Bruce Willis doesn't have standards.
Oh, well, dude, when we get into this fucking movie trailer, we'll talk about Bruce Willis. We can certainly talk about his standards.
I mean, it's been a far fall from grace since he's been with Demi Moore. Let's just say that. But what did you think of the Suicide Squad trailer,
we're not done here, Matt. How are we going to act like it's easier to sell like toys with Batman not eating vagina versus like the Batfleck just mowing people down with machine guns, like murdering everybody.
Okay.
And I'd also point out Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm pretty sure, has sold a fuck ton of toys. He's killed a lot of people in movies.
Can we go back and forth? 5 things that heroes have done worse than eat vagina on TV?
I'll try my best, yeah.
So we'll give you that one as a pass. You said the Batfleck.
Got it.
Next one.
Well, no,
you want me go?
You're next.
Man of Steel. Superman destroys an entire city and then saves these 3 people from getting laser beamed in the face, and we just think it's all good. No, dude, a bunch of people died in that movie.
Okay, is Deadpool a hero?
No, he's an anti-hero.
I don't know, but it still says hero in it.
Nope, he's a hero in training.
Which characters, just so I can firmly understand this, which characters are allowed to eat vagina? Like, what kind of hero? Where does the hero line get drawn on vagina eating?
Yeah, I don't think they've ever shown a hero eating vagina. I think Wolverine got close, but...
Suicide Squad movie.
Yes, but those are villains.
I mean, you're asking them to save a bunch of shit, dude.
Yeah, but we're using them because they're not a liability.
But they're going to sell toys.
No, man. Plausible deniability.
You don't think that shark probably munches on it?
I don't think that's a safety hazard. You know how many teeth shark have?
No,
and if they lose them, they regrow them.
Yeah, they have rows of them.
Yeah, I don't think that's safe, and you're not selling merchandise.
Have you see a shark with just some gums, bro?
What that mouth do, baby?
Yeah, just gumming it.
I don't condone that, dude. Yeah, I don't know, man. So I went Man of Steel. You go another one.
Another Ryan Reynolds one. Everything that the Green
Lantern did.
Yeah, just the movie The Green Lantern.
That's actually a really.
That's
good
worse
one.
than any vagina being eaten.
Oh man, darn, that is a really good one. Oh, okay. Professor Xavier in X-Men First Class using his mental tactics to talk down to women, get them drunk, and fuck them.
Yikes.
There you go.
Yikes.
There's another one.
And Professor X is like the GOAT of good guy superheroes.
Yeah, you got to wonder how much is actually consensual with his relationships because he controls people's minds.
When Keanu Reeves drove around in that bus and hit a bunch of people.
Are you talking about Speed?
And they...
Hold on. All right, this is another fast food conversation. Speed's not a superhero movie, dude.
Well...
Also, Keanu Reeves has never gone down on a woman in a movie.
Dude, that Wildcat, bro. Come on, like he was putting it in on Sandra Bullock.
I don't know if that's proper. But no, Speed, not the movie. That
Can I present to you why that's a superhero movie?
No, I'm not even going to entertain
Can I
it.
state my case? I'm going to state my case. Okay, so
why don't I have any control here?
Clearly a hero, first and foremost. He saves those people in the elevator. Right? He shoots Harry in the leg. That's a huge moment. Hero move.
They didn't sell any merchandise, Len.
I would have bought it if they did.
No, you're losing.
So hold on. You have not let me finish. He can fly. Tell me I'm wrong.
Can I come back now?
Tell me I'm wrong, dude.
Where's the show going? Because you've drawn the line so far down in the sand that I have no idea where we're going with this.
Well, I'm just saying, if Batman can't be a superhero if he enjoys a night with vagina in his mouth, I can't get behind
animated
the franchise at all.
You didn't answer my question. Where do we draw the line on superhero movies? Are we talking DC, Marvel, or are you just jumping into anybody who's ever saved somebody?
Well, you still haven't answered me how I'm wrong that he can fly.
I'm not going to disagree with you, and honestly, it would take way too long.
The bus, he jumps that.
No, I know he jumps the bus.
The bus flies.
I am well aware that Keanu Reeves and Vin Diesel have both proven that they can fly.
Oh, Fast and the Furious would have been my next example.
No, I got ahead of that one.
No,
okay?
you can't, dude.
This has gone completely off the rails.
Mission Impossible, superhero movie.
How?
You saw what he did on the side of that building.
He didn't save anybody.
He's always saving stuff, dude.
No, dude, half of the issues in Mission Impossible are created by the people who are trying to stop it.
Oh, you could say the same thing about the Avengers. Have you seen Civil War?
I hate that you've done this to me. Avengers Civil War. No, regular Avengers. I'm pretty sure people died in the regular Avengers. Hulk smashing into the buildings.
Yeah, like Hulk, any Hulk movie. Just...
Okay, all of this is a great example of heroes doing things way worse than eating vagina. And I think that because it's animated, it should be allowed.
I'm with you.
Right?
Well, I mean, if this was Japan, I think it would have been allowed in general.
It would have been blurred.
But allowed because it's animated.
Yeah, I don't...
If you can let octopuses fuck people, I think you can let bats box, dude.
Well, from Bruce Wayne to Bruce Willis... I feel like I got to get us out of this conversation.
We didn't even talk about the Suicide Squad.
No, I realize this, but the further we get away from this, the further we are from harm at this point.
Dude, I think
what did you think of the Suicide Squad
I think
movie?
The casting of this movie is better than the original.
Yes, I would agree with you.
I like the fact that you went a little bit more subtle with the actors for this. I don't know, like it's not Will Smith.
No,
you know what I mean? Like it's not like
it's
this big
Idris
name
Elba
that's jumping off the page. Like Pete Davidson has a good little niche for himself. John Cena obviously has fans.
Yeah.
You're still bringing back Harley Quinn with Margot Robbie, but I just feel like a movie like this doesn't need to be sold on these big names as the team, because then you have to put too much focus on those particular characters. When it should be like, I want to see how all of these players, like these different characters intertwine and intersect in the movie, right? So I think that's the biggest takeaway I've kind of got from this is that I trust James Gunn to write a pretty unique and interesting script. It looks like this is a pretty good movie. As of right now, I'm excited to see it, and that's what I'm most happy with that they've done here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on the casting. I think bringing back Margot Robbie does give you a bit of a good foundation. She's already kind of shown in the trailers that she's going to be the comedic relief. But I'm a huge fan of Idris Elba. Anything that he's in, I'm usually going to tune into.
Yeah.
I think they kind of nailed it with the casting, and I also think that there's probably going to be more emphasis on the storyline. I thought the original storyline to the Suicide Squad was utter dog shit.
It's just very like, okay, there's a thing, and there's a bunch of other things that'll stop you from getting to that thing.
There's just so many movies that don't really require a villain, and when you just give it a villain just to have it, and it sounds so insane just to beat that villain, it just doesn't make sense to me. Give me some character building. Give me a little bit more tact with the way that you're presenting our storyline, and then actually show me why they're the Suicide Squad.
So Suicide Squad really should just be like interesting characters, good action, and like a little bit of plot isn't a bad thing.
Like, dude, you nailed it with the CGI on the shark guy.
Yeah. Well, they did a good job in the first movie though with
the lizard dude.
Yeah.
They
he was
did.
one of the better characters.
But they didn't really. They showed him he had one good scene.
I think they chose good characters to return for this though too,
Yeah.
like Captain Boomerang with Jai Courtney. I thought was pretty good.
What's it? Rick Flag as the leader of the Suicide Squad.
He was good in that movie.
He's
too.
a good appointment.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely excited, man. I think as we get closer to it releasing, it would certainly be a movie that I want to check out.
Yeah. So next up on the agenda, we hinted towards it. We had, much to my chagrin, Matt.
I thought you would have been excited because it was a Bruce Willis movie,
No,
and I
this is the
know you
problem,
love
man.
this guy,
I'm
man.
out on him, man.
Really?
Unless he's doing Die Hard at this point, I don't have much time for him. It's just he's ruined his name.
Can I tell you, I saw him in a Die Hard battery commercial, and
Yeah,
it was a weird roller coaster ride. 'Cause I was like, oh, he's coming out with a new
No, it's
like
just
immediately you're like,
the
nope,
Energizer battery.
just a real stupid
Jesus
battery
Christ.
commercial.
Yeah, no, you know what the issue is, man? It's so transparent, even watching the trailer, that he doesn't give a fuck.
No.
And basically anything I've heard about him on any of these recent movies he's done is that he really he films over a couple days and then he's out. He's on to the next movie
like,
he's going to film for a couple days.
F you, pay me, dude. I'm out of here.
Basically, it's like, let me do his minimum. I guarantee you he does like 2 or 3 takes. He's like, he probably goes to the director and he's like, listen, I know the script. You got like 3 takes at this. Use whatever's the best one. Or he's good. I feel like he's also the type of guy who probably would just tell him, no, that's good enough. We're just going to use that.
Yeah, we're going to use that. He probably doesn't do a ton of improvising either. I feel like he's so sticking to the script.
Yeah, he just doesn't care anymore, man.
You know?
And like, but these people are still paying him. Like, why? Like the movie we're talking about is called Out of Death or Out for Death.
Out of Death.
That's a bad name.
Yeah,
That's
it
just
is a bad name.
And it's like, it's just a very generic plot. Like when I saw him he puts his badge on the table, and I'm like, oh great, he's playing a cop again. Like,
but it like just the overall story is just weird. Like you and your wife are out in this cabin. Your wife's out where she shouldn't be taking pictures of people
was
she
that
shouldn't
his
be.
wife?
I don't know.
No,
you think it's just some chick he's banging?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You don't take some chick you're just banging out to the cabin, bro.
Then he does like it's
a hotel
thing
type
with
of
his
thing.
niece getting kidnapped, but it doesn't even seem like he really cares.
Dude, I immediately looked at you and I was like, when did this just become Taken 5?
Yeah,
like what was this
well,
guy
it's
think
just
he's Liam Neeson?
It's just they threw a bunch of generic plot lines together, and they got a guy who people recognize.
You've got my girl, you've got my niece.
You know, formerly somebody stupid like me would go ahead and pay to watch that. And there actually is a Bruce Willis movie out right now, maybe on. Can you look up his IMDb really quick? It's gonna be funny if the movie I'm thinking about that's straight to like DVD on Vudu, or not straight to DVD but straight to streaming. You're on Box Office Mojo. You're fair. It's basically stole the layout for the website.
It looks exactly the same.
So
I didn't want to do
Cosmic
that.
Sin, which is a movie with a guy from. I don't even fucking know. Why do I care?
Don't do that to yourself, dude.
I know who I'm talking about. He was in Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. He was in that MMA show.
Which one?
Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
What was his
Yeah,
name?
no, I didn't.
Frank Grillo.
Love the guy.
Cosmic
Always
Sin
favorite.
is a movie that he's in together.
Here.
But no, I don't. I think it was Breach is the one I'm talking about. That I was looking at it. I saw the cover and I was like, maybe I would buy that. Not buy it.
I don't know. That
but
Cosmic Sin one looks pretty good. Oh, and he did a movie with Liam Neeson. Maybe that's where he got the inspiration.
This is Liam Neeson's in this?
Is that not Liam Neeson?
No, it's Thomas Jane.
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's
Sorry,
the Punisher,
Thomas Jane.
baby.
Sorry.
Deep in Space, Matt, they are not alone.
I'm pretty... Are you going to turn into Pablo Francisco and just start doing all the voices for movie trailers? I would be 100% okay with that if you did.
You want me to.
I'm not 100% okay with this Bruce Willis movie, and you can chalk it up as another Bruce Willis movie that I will not be watching.
I had asked Steve on one of his lives recently if who had the better film career in the past 10 years between Bruce Willis and Nicolas Cage. It's like a super tough question.
That's
isn't
rough.
It?
Yeah,
And it's kind of nuts because I think Bruce Willis ended up winning in my head.
Yeah, I think he does.
Because he had like the G.I. Joe sequel.
He also had another one in
I
there.
think people like Death Wish a little bit.
Yeah, it's gonna bother me. I can't think of what else he was in, but yeah, Nicolas Cage hasn't made anything worth noting in about 15 years.
Yeah, you know what Disney needs to do is I need a National Treasure TV series.
With Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Do you think you bring back the whole trio?
I don't hate Nicolas Cage. I'm still waiting. Give me another Gone in 60 Seconds. Like, I think he has some hits that he should have gone back to, and he just never did.
You're living on cloud nostalgia, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I get that.
Half of what we do here.
The amount of times that you've jumped back into 90s movies and shows is pretty insane. But moving away from 90s movies and shows and wrapping up our trailer section, you recently saw a movie.
Yeah, so Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Hitman's Bodyguard's wife is what you...
Hitman's Bodyguard's wife,
But
yeah.
it's Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
Okay, sorry. HBW, HWB.
Yeah, I mean, without spoiling it, I'll just give a quick little synopsis of my feelings on it.
Nice.
I found it to be a very enjoyable trip to the movies.
Okay.
I think it is a good... It's what I call a popcorn movie. It's a movie that you can go and just be entertained for an hour and a half. Don't go in with the expectation of a great plot or anything of that nature, but... I've said this to you, and I think I've gotten this notion or premise across on here pretty well, that I'm a fan of movies that know what they are. Yeah. And I think this movie knows what it is. I think this movie knows it has a cast of stars that all have specific strengths, and it just allows them
to lean into those strengths.
Work to that.
Yeah.
Not Penelope Cruz.
Salma Hayek. Don't do that, dude. Don't you ever. Sorry. I had to get my own little thing in.
So Salma Hayek is fantastic in this.
Scorched earth.
And if you were a fan of her, Matt, this is a movie to see.
I'll check out the clips.
Because her dirty talk is great. She has a filthy, filthy mouth on her.
Why is you talking about Salma Hayek's dirty talk actually kind of get me excited?
Yeah,
it's weird.
Semi Chubb,
Let's get this out.
So, no, don't keep it in. Yeah, between her and Ryan Reynolds, I think they're great. Sam L kind of plays the third role here a little bit, which is fine.
He does a good supporting role, I think.
There's some really good cameos. Like I said, Frank Grillo is in this. I don't want to spoil the other one, but there is a good surprise cameo in the movie. Pretty cool character. You also have Antonio Banderas is in this, which I don't feel like we knew that from the trailer, did we?
No, I didn't know that.
So yeah, he's the bad guy, is Antonio Banderas.
Dude, how flipping crazy is that?
Like the cast is very, very strong, and that's why I think.
How did Salma Hayek keep her hands off him?
She doesn't,
because those two have amazing chemistry on screen.
She doesn't.
She doesn't?
No.
Well, you sold me on it, dude. I'll be watching it this weekend.
So yeah, definitely for me, I would give it as far as rating for me right now. Yeah. I think I'm gonna rate it right in there, cake. It's a movie I would definitely recommend. Now, with the caveat of if you don't like Ryan Reynolds, if you're kind of over his style of comedy,
lose my number right now.
This probably isn't for you. Like, this is very much a Ryan Reynolds project. I think I said this to you, and I don't have any facts to back this up, but I feel like ever since Deadpool, he has had more involvement over the movies that he makes and the production of those movies.
I think people are trusting him and really just allowing him to have that creative...
He has box office clout at this point, and they know people want to see him. So you look at the movies he's been doing, and I think he just does a good job of picking roles that allow him to be himself, you know?
Or different variations of himself.
Even like Hobbs and Shaw, you know, like the small part he has in that is like very much on brand with just like who he is. And I think people know what they're getting with him, and they write roles specifically almost with him in mind. But the movie ends up being number one at the box office this weekend.
That's
awesome. Killed it. It did really
I heard about
that. So I would imagine you're going to get a third one at some point down the line.
That sounds great.
Good money grabs for all people involved, so I don't begrudge them there at all. But yeah, I definitely recommend it for anybody out there who is a fan of the first movie. And even if you haven't seen the first movie, I think you can go ahead and like this movie too.
I think we can admit the first one's a good movie, right? Yeah, like I genuinely enjoyed it. Yeah, genuinely enjoyed it.
I'm not a big... I like comedies a lot, but I don't tend to I'm not a laugh out loud person, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not really who I am. And I wouldn't
You're more of a giggle to yourself type guy.
I definitely more giggled or chuckled than I did laugh out loud, but I was in the movie and was laughing at it. And like, there was people audibly laughing in the movie while I saw it too. So
see, those are the ones I get excited for.
It seemed like people really enjoyed it, so I definitely recommend it, yeah.
Man, you got to stop talking about Salma Hayek around me. It takes me to a weird place, man.
But so we have a few minutes left here, Matt. Let's close things out. I know you had something you wanted to tell me. So go ahead and shoot, dude. Shoot, baby, shoot.
I've been spending a lot of time with your ex lately. I know that you guys just recently got back together.
Oh, you're on Netflix again?
Oh, dude, am I on Netflix?
Yeah, back on there.
You like what I did?
Yeah, I was like, what am I getting myself in trouble with here?
Yeah, this was about to be weird for a couple people that were listening. But no, man, you gave me a challenge of watching Outer Banks.
Oh, that's what we're talking
and
about.
I jumped into that, and I won't make it seem like I jumped deep into it. I got into that first episode, but immediately left me wanting more.
Okay,
So I will certainly be tuning in, and it's even more exciting that season 2 is right around the corner.
The Pogues and the
I am already blanking on this,
I
but
know.
the rich people and the Pogues.
Yeah.
That's what I got. That show takes off almost immediately.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely not a slow burn, and
It's about 10 episodes, and it's a very good pace. And like I said from the beginning, I think it goes in what I was just saying about movies. Shows can be bad and still be good, right? Like, because I'm not selling you on this movie being some like well acted, really really heavy plot. Like, no, it's just 10 episodes. It's kind of silly, a little over the top. But it's good. It's pretty good.
you know, if you enjoy just kind of witty banter between friends, and then how friends kind of deal with shit under pressure, it just gives you a cool dynamic into the show. And it was easy for me to get into.
I don't know about you, but I always, whenever I see that people in a movie or in a TV show, I was actually just reading this. So Dylan O'Brien, obviously, we talk about him a lot on here, being our
Some would say
favorite
too
actor,
much,
right? Or one of my favorite actors at this point. He started on Teen Wolf, and I saw something, and it was the Tyler Posey, the other person on that show, talking about like the thing that always showed through in that show was that they in real life were best friends. Like from the day they met each other on like tryouts, they were wearing similar clothing, like had similar personalities.
Immediately
they
hit it off.
Like clicked. He was just like, I felt like it was somebody who I was meant to know. And this show, though, that core group of 4 or 5 people on that show,
the chemistry is insane, dude.
John B and Sarah in real life end up dating, and a lot of it is the chemistry that they have together on that show is so transparent. Like, it shows through, and I think you end up, because of the relationship between those 4 or 5 characters, it's just like anything, man. Like Friends just had that reunion, right? Like Friends doesn't work if you don't have 5 people who are genuinely at similar points in their life and going through similar things, and they ended up being like genuine friends with each other, and those relationships shine through. And I think
you see them grow together, right? Like it's really interesting, and it made me like right off the jump. I was like, okay, I can see why he pointed me in this direction.
Yeah, keep me updated, man. And again, I tell people out there, give it a shot, man. If you're looking for a show to kind of binge through, I think it's worth it.
I also double dipped.
Okay, what else?
So I watched The Outer Banks, and this was something that I know you would have no interest in. But as always, I got to get my usual anime plug in here. Okay. Record of Ragnarok.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar.
Man,
I've heard people really like it.
Blew me away just because, we've seen shows of like the tournament to end all tournaments, right? The greatest fighters from one area, greatest fighters of the next. This gives you the greatest gods versus the greatest humans. And if you've played video games, if you've read books, you hear about certain characters, i.e. Lu Bu from the Dynasty Warriors series. You hear about Jack the Ripper, Adam from Adam and Eve. And they give you such a unique spin on each of these people that, some of them, Jack the Ripper was a murderer, right? You're like, one of the worst people, never actually got caught. And you find yourself rooting for this guy because he's fighting a god. Really cool animation, short, sweet, 10 episodes, both sub and dubbed. If you love anime, I think you definitely love this.
It's been something that keeps kind of I think the cover art is really good on it, and it's funny how that works. It's the same thing with like YouTube or anything. Obviously, like a good thumbnail will draw you in.
Yeah, immediately.
But yeah, that's a show that's kind of been on the outskirts for me. Obviously, I'm not quick to jump to anime, but I've had some other people tell me that they really, really liked it. So yeah, maybe I'll have to give that a shot.
Something to check out,
I got 4 seasons of Dawson left, but...
Yeah, well, that's certainly not on my what to watch feature.
No, honestly, can I just get this out in the open? I don't think anybody should watch it.
Yeah, and
if my sick mind needs to watch it.
If we somehow get tied to Dawson's Creek, and we get no viewership, I'm blaming you.
I would love to know if there's a market out there for me to just be able to talk about like chick flicks, rom-coms, and fucking terrible TV shows.
You're going to get that secret person who slides into our DMs and is like, I want to hear you talk more about CW shows.
Well, dude, if anybody out there is like passionate about some of the CW shows, anybody wants to talk a little Gossip Girl or like One Tree Hill, Let's go, dude.
I
with
so
the
wish
shit, bro.
I so wish I could be that friend for you, but I'm just
No,
not
I don't
willing to
want
go
you to.
there.
I've never asked you to be.
No, and that's why you're a good friend, dude.
Yeah, like
and I appreciate
I don't
that.
think you have to like be a little fucking weird. And you need to like it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like I would love to have like just an hour conversation about the Notebook, but you know, if there's nobody out there who wants to do that,
Man, I don't think I've ever seen you this vulnerable on air.
That's
We'll
funny.
talk about this. Hit us up in the comments if you're trying to.
if you want to,
if you're trying to be that guy,
if you want to co-host the podcast, just 100% every episode's about
We'll do
chick
all the
flicks,
work for
dude.
ya.
Like I'm there for it.
Anything else on your what to watch list?
Yeah, I mean, so we already talked about it. F9 comes out this week.
Yeah, buddy.
That's for me always like a top of the list movie. Kind of sucks. Like I didn't plan well, so I have tickets for Thursday, and I'm not gonna be able to make it. So I'm gonna have to probably put it off till until Friday.
Who do we got to get rid of to make that happen?
My job. Just find me another one.
Give me an address. We'll figure it out.
Help us gain enough fans to stop doing real jobs.
Yeah, we could be doing this and putting a lot more effort into it. So one last thing I wanted to drop, though. Rick and Morty Season 5.
Okay.
They dropped
awesome.
episode 1 this weekend.
Live up to the hype. I've never seen a single episode.
Haven't watched it yet.
Okay.
I'm actually waiting until episode 2 comes out just so I have a little bit of back-to-back action.
Okay.
Something to look forward to this
How
Sunday.
high does that rank in a couple seconds here on your favorite animated shows?
It's definitely top 5.
South Park or that?
Oh, shit.
I know I did it to you.
The longevity gives South Park the edge. Rick and Morty not far behind.
Okay, so episode per episode, you think Rick and Morty's
Episode for episode, I would say in the 4 seasons that they've had, most of their episodes could go up against any good South Park episode.
That's big.
And I say that with my balls in my hand. Hit me in the comments if you think I'm wrong.
I'm with you, man. That almost makes me want to watch it, but I'm just not that interested. So I probably won't. But you know,
I'm gonna break down that wall, dude.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, man.
absolutely.
We'll watch it together.
But if they wanted to break down the wall to get in touch with us, Len, how would they do that?
Well, they can find us on Twitter at Good Taste Live.
And at Instagram at For Those With Good Taste.
We put out weekly episodes on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, the whole 9. Find us on there as well. If you could give us a like, a comment, a share, and a subscribe, we would greatly appreciate it.
Because we fucking love you guys.
Yeah, man. We love you. You love us.
We're a happy family, and we'll see you guys next week.
Can't wait. Love
Later.
you. Peace.
Fuck the Mayweathers.
For those with good taste.